press the bell icon on the YouTube app and never miss another update.
Well, dear students, today I am talking to you about the second preparatory examination paper in English. I read out the questions and answers which I have prepared. See the first main question. Under this first main question, where you are supposed to answer each and every question in a word, a phrase or a sentence. Don't exceed that limit. Then 12 questions are there. All 12 questions are compulsory. So the first question is, where according to Juliet will Romeo lie upon? The correct answer is, will lie upon the wings of night. Once again I repeat the answer, will lie upon the wings of night. The second question, mention any one of the taxes imposed on the people of Monaco. Answer is, tax on tobacco, right? Or tax on wine and spirits, or poll tax. So write one of these three taxes imposed on the people of Monaco. Third question. What should not be imposed on children by their parents according to the Prophet? Answer is thoughts of parents. Or you may write that one in full sentence, parents should not impose their thoughts on parents. That is, say, thoughts on yes, impose the children, thoughts of parents. Yes. Fourth question. Where is one of the estates of Gonzalo located? Near Aravaca is answer. Or you may write, one of the estates of Gonzalo was located near Aravaca. That is the full sentence. You may write that also. Fifth question. Where does the speaker call the love of those who loved the moments of glad grace of his beloved? The answer is, love false or true. That is the correct answer. Then sixth question. The owner of the land in the gardener was not amenable to. Three answers are there. The correct answer is any kind of advice. Any kind of advice. The other things are there. Any kind of negotiations, his wife's pleadings. The above A and B are wrong. The correct answer is any kind of advice. Next question. Seventh question. What does the poet create on earth according to Kuvempu? Heaven is the correct answer. Or you may write it in full sentence. The poet creates heaven on this earth. Eighth question. As George Mikes says, after a few hours in Japan, one starts bowing. Yes, bowing is the right answer there. You have to fill up that word in the blank. Write the full sentence and fill up the blank with that word bowing. That is the way to answer that eighth question. Ninth question. How much money did the POP campaigner team offer Roo for his vote? £5 is the answer. Or you may write that one in full sentence. POP campaigner team offered Roo for £5. That is also correct answer. Where did George Mikes meet the deer in Japan? A deer in Japan. Answer is in one of the parts of Nara, a park. This is the correct answer. Write this much. That is enough. Name the district in Tamil Nadu in which cycling had been a social movement. Pudukottai is enough. Pudukottai is enough. See, cycling movement, it happened in the district Pudukottai. That is the full sentence. You may write that also. What is Sheila Rani Chunkat mentioned in Where There Is a Wheel? The answer is district collector. Or Sheila Rani Chunkat was the district collector of that Pudukottai district. You may write that full sentence. Yes, that is how you have to answer the first 12 questions where a phrase or a word or a sentence is required as answer. So try to be very careful while answering these questions. Let all the 12 marks will be yours. It depends upon your preparation, of course. The second main question. See, under this second main question, there will be 10 questions. Out of 10 questions, you have to answer only 8. And 2 from poetry section, that is compulsory, minimum of 2. You may answer 3. All the 3 questions, of course. Yes, that is the instruction, and here I am going to explain all the 10 questions given in the question paper. The very first question under this head is the 13th question. Explain the images used by Romeo to describe Juliet's beauty. Of course, here Romeo uses certain phrases to appreciate the matchless beauty of that Juliet. The answer runs like this. Romeo, a Montague, goes to the party arranged by Lord Capulet to meet Rosaline. There he sees Juliet, the only daughter of Lord Capulet. He feels that she is a perfect beauty. He begins to prize her beauty using images and similes. The chief images are torches burning bright, cheek of night, jewel in Ethiop's ear, and a snowy dove trooping with crows. Romeo says that her beauty enables the torches to burn bright. She stands as a star against darkness, like an ear ring hanging against the cheek of an African woman. She is an angelic beauty who outshines the other dancing women there, like a snowy dove in the middle of crows. Thus he prizes her beauty. Romeo decides to give up his love for Rosaline. He feels that Juliet is his true love because he feels that he has never seen a beauty like Juliet. So that is the answer. Write this answer. That is enough for 4 marks. Then 14th question. How does the narrator describe the toy kingdom Monaco? The very first paragraph in that story becomes an answer to this question, and I have prepared this answer. I read the answer, write this much. This is enough. Monaco, a tiny kingdom, was on the shore of Mediterranean Sea. France and Italy had borders with Monaco. It was such a tiny kingdom whose population was about 7,000. If all the land in the kingdom were divided, there would be less than an acre for each inhabitant. Such a toy kingdom was ruled by a kinglet. Like any other king, he had a palace, courtiers, ministers, a bishop, generals, and an army. There were only 60 men in the army. He collected taxes. As the income was meager, he started a gaming house to live royally. That is the answer. That answer is required there. Then 15th question. Why does the criminal in a 2D refuse to go away from prison? See, to this question, see, offer was made. See, the guard was removed. He was allowed to run away from the prison, but he was not willing. He gives his own reasons to prove that he was not willing to go away from that prison. The reasons are given here. I read the answer. Listen to me carefully. The minister told the criminal that he could go away from the prison cell as there was no guard to keep him. He assured the criminal that the prince would not mind. The criminal said that he knew it, but he had no place to go. He accused that they had ruined his character through their judgment. The people would turn their back on him. Moreover, he was out of touch with work due to his long, lazy prison life. He argued that they had treated him badly by changing their own judgments. First of all, they had sentenced him to death but did not execute him. Secondly, they sentenced him to imprisonment for life and put a guard to bring him food. Thirdly, after 1 year, they removed the guard and made him to fetch his food himself from the kitchen. Lastly, their demand to him was to go away from the prison and Monaco once and for all. Giving the above reasons, he plainly told the minister that he would not go away from the prison. That is the answer to the 15th question. Then 16th question. What makes Lara feel that Don Gonzalo is an ill-natured man in the beginning? Of course, here Gonzalo moves in the direction of the pigeons which were feeding on the breadcrumbs. He disturbs them. And that lady becomes angry and she passes this statement about Gonzalo's behavior. The answer is as follows. Don Gonzalo entered the park along with his servant Juanito. The bench he used to sit on every day was occupied by 3 priests. He ordered Juanito to drive the priests away from his bench. As it was not possible, he and Juanito walked towards the pigeons which were feeding on Dona Lara's breadcrumbs. The pigeons were disturbed. Therefore, Lara shouted at Gonzalo, "Look out!" She told him with anger that he had scared away the birds who were feeding on her crumbs. Gonzalo said with arrogance that he would not care about the birds and claimed that it was a public park. Lara taunted him, asking why he had claimed that the priest had taken his bench. Gonzalo told her not to address him rudely like that, and walked away along with Juanito. Then Lara remarked, "What an ill-natured old man." In her opinion, Gonzalo had no good manners to behave in the society. That is the answer to the question. 17th question. How does Gonzalo narrate his fictitious story to Lara? See, Gonzalo doesn't like to give his real identity because he suspects that Lara must be his old friend. Therefore, he narrates a fictitious story, telling her that it was a brave death to his cousin. So the answer runs as follows. Gonzalo wanted to prove that his cousin, Gonzalo himself of course, had not forgotten Lara, his beloved. So he narrated a fictitious story. According to Gonzalo, his cousin, bracket Gonzalo anta ide, it refers to cousin. Gonzalo wounded the merchant mortally in the duel. The merchant was supposed to marry Lara. Sensing severe punishment, he, that means cousin, hid in Gonzalo's house for some time. Then he went to Seville and later to Madrid. From there, he wrote many letters to Lara, some in verse form. But he received no reply, lost her forever. No reply from her. He became very sad. He felt that he had lost her forever. Then he joined army, went to Africa, and met his tragic end while fighting from a trench. He died holding the flag of Spain and uttering Lara's name. This was fictitious. Therefore, Lara, in her aside remark, says, "What an atrocious lie." See, in this answer, I have mentioned some words in the bracket. See, the words mentioned in the bracket refer to the word that precedes them. Cousin, it refers to Gonzalo. Once again, he refers to cousin. So, remember that, write the word in the bracket, write the word what is mentioned in the bracket, that gives no confusion to the evaluator. Answer only in this way to this particular question. Next question is, what does the speaker visualize about his beloved in When You Are Old? So, When You Are Old is a love poem, of course, here. Here the speaker, that means the poet, warns his beloved lady that she has committed a mistake in rejecting his proposal of love. He advises her not to reject his proposal of love. That is actually given in 12 lines of this poem. It is packed with meaning. The answer runs as follows. I read the answer now. Follow it. In the poem, When You Are Old, the speaker asks his beloved to imagine herself that she is aged, grey-haired, and drowsy in looks. He wants her to read his book of poems where every poem tells her how truly he loves her. She will read in them about the soft look of her eyes, which has given grace to her face. She will also read the shadows deep, indicating her sorrow hidden deeply. She can find the contrast between the graceful look of her youth and drowsy look of her old age. He tells her that many young men are moving around her, prizing her beauty. He warns her that their love is not true, as they love only her physical beauty. Those false lovers will slowly move away as passing age takes away her beauty and glamour. But he loves her truly, even though she is old, grey-haired, and drowsy in looks. He loves her pilgrim soul more than he loves her physical beauty. He responds positively to her sorrows and sufferings. His love is stable and unwavering. To him, physical beauty is transient, but true love is permanent. In her old age, sitting by the fireside, looking at the glowing bars in the grate, she will murmur sadly for not recognizing the true love of the speaker. She will feel that true love has fled to the mountain tops and disappeared among the stars. He is lost to her forever. Through the poem, he warns her that she has committed a grave mistake by rejecting his true love. That is the answer. See, go through the answer again and again. See, try to be perfect while answering the question about this poem. Next question is 19th question. How did the competitive spirit turn out to be rivalry between Tammanna and Basavaya in the gardener? Tammanna and Basavaya, of course, they were not rivals in the beginning. Rivalry started only of late. They went on buying lands and the people thought it was only a competition. But later they started to compete with each other in order to prove that they were real rivals. I read the answer now. Jealousy leads to rivalry. It all started with buying lands and acquiring friends. If Tammanna bought 4 acres adjacent to his land, Basavaya did the same. If one got 10 friends, the other got 15 friends. In the beginning, it looked like healthy competition. Gradually, it rose to such a pitch that all lands in the village were bought by Tammanna and Basavaya. Tammanna owned 1,000 acres of land and Basavaya owned 800 acres. There was no land to buy. Basavaya did not like to be inferior in owning lands, so he forcibly acquired and fenced 200 acres of Tammanna. That proved that they had become bitter rivals. Rivalry was visible. Basavaya had upper hand in it. Now Tammanna wanted to teach a lesson to Basavaya in a novel way. Novel means strange, new way. He started composing ballads and singing them. He criticized Basavaya's cruelty and meanness through his songs. Scholars of folklore translated his songs and brought him name and fame. Moreover, he was felicitated as the best poet of his time. As an answer to this, Basavaya started to fill his life with material wealth. He built a mansion, bought jewels, got men to praise him. Moreover, he began to honor poets, scholars, and musicians. But he could not beat Tammanna in popularity. This was invisible rivalry. Thus, the relationship between the two started as competition, but grew into a bitter rivalry. It is nothing but man's nature. So that is the answer. Try to answer like this. Next question is 20th question. Describe POP campaigners meeting with Roof. POP means Progressive Organization Party. Yes, the campaigner meets Roof secretly and offers him £5. It was the purpose. See, the purpose was to buy his vote. I read the answer. In a democracy, a voter has every right to vote to the candidate of his choice in elections. But in most countries, votes are bought, killing the sanctity of elections. Umofia was no exception to that. Marcus Aibe of PAP, People's Alliance Party, and Maduka of PAP were the rival candidates. Roof was one of the trusted campaigners of Marcus Aibe. On the eve of elections, a leader of PAP campaigning team met Roof. Of course, he and Roof were known to each other. He had an evil design in mind. He placed £5 before Roof and directly asked Roof to vote for Maduka. the candidate of PAP. 5 pounds were a considerable amount of money. Moreover, the campaigner of PAP promised Roof that they would keep the matter a secret and they just wanted a vote for Maduka. Roof was sure that Marcus Saibe would win the election. He felt that his single vote in favor of Maduka would not defeat Marcus. So he accepted money and swore in the name of IE that he would vote for Maduka. Roof was bought. This secret dealing killed the sanctity of elections in a democratic setup. Next question is 21st question. Give the picture of the early hours of the election day in order. See, it was a festival to the people of that village. They considered election was an important event in the life of those people. So I read the answer. It was election day morning, the great day to the voters of after 5 years to exercise their power. Weather-beaten posters were everywhere. Some were whole and some were torn. Vote for People's Alliance Party. Vote for Progressive Organization Party. Vote for PAP. Vote for PAP were the messages. Those messages were for the people who could read. What an irony. Chief the Honorable Marcus Aibe had hired a high life band from Umuru. He had stationed it at a respectable distance from the voting booths. The voters who came there holding the ballot papers aloft danced to the tune of the music. Then they proceeded to the polling booths to drop the ballot papers in the boxes. Chief the Honorable Marcus Aibe, sitting in the owner's corner of his big car, smiled and nodded to encourage the voters. One enlightened villager shook hands with Marcus and said congrats. The others who were ignorant also shook hands with him but said congrats. Roof gave final instructions to a group of women about voting. He told them that their sign was motor car. He shouted loudly, vote for the car and you will ride in it. The women greeted his words with laughter. The whole scene had a festive look. That is the answer. Write that. Next question. How does the speaker try to prove heaven if you are not here on earth, where else could you be? Here the poet Kuvempu creates heaven through his poetic power. And it is as follows. Heaven is a mythological conception where everything is beautiful and everyone is happy. But the poet Kuvempu is not ready to accept it as truth. Being a worshipper of nature, he attempts to teach us that heaven is on this earth but nowhere else. Gods and nymphs are mythological beings in heaven. Here the poet finds them in every man and woman on this earth. According to him, men and women on this earth are gods and nymphs. The roaring stream rushing fast, the rolling surf at the edge of waves, and the tender sunshine on verdant gardens give him the picture of heaven. They look much more beautiful when the morning sun shines over them. That is the beauty of this earthly heaven. The poet sees heaven everywhere on this earth in the form of bountiful harvest and sweet moonlight. The poet imbibes the beauty of nature. As a result, this song of nectar overflows from his heart. Through this song, the poet creates heaven on this earth and breaks the myth of heaven. The poet celebrates his poetic power while creating the picture of heaven on this earth. That is the answer to the question. See, all the 10 questions I have explained. Out of 10, you have to answer 8 in the examination. The questions, see, of course, consider what questions you can answer comfortably. Select those questions and answer them. Next question, third main question. Answer the following in about 200 words. 3 questions will be there. Out of 3 questions, you have to answer only one. See, select the one which you can answer very well. See, the first question under this headline is, we cannot keep pace with our children's life and thoughts. How is the statement picturized in On Children? See, Khalil Gibran has composed this poem. He is a Lebanese-American poet. He writes about the relationship between parents and children. I read out the answers. It is as follows. Khalil Gibran is a Lebanese-American artist and poet. On Children is a poem from his best-known work, The Prophet. In this poem, the poet tells us how the relationship should be between parents and children. Once a woman holding a baby against her bosom appeals to the prophet to speak to the gathering about their children. The prophet speaks. The children are born with a desire to be born. Parents are just the means to bring them to this world. Therefore, parents need not be over-possessive of their children. Children have their own thoughts and vision of life which are different from the thoughts of the parents. Therefore, parents should not try to impose their thoughts. Parents can house their bodies but not their souls. The invisible souls of the children live in the house of tomorrow, having a vision of beautiful future. The parents cannot see that even in their imagination. Parents must allow them to nurture their thoughts and flower freely to realize their dreams. Parents must support their progressive ideas because life is always progressive but not regressive. The prophet explains the role of parents and children in the hands of God through perfect metaphor, bow, arrows, and archer. God is the archer, parents are the bows, and the children are the arrows. The archer loves both the bow and the arrow because both are his creations. Parents will be blessed if they bend reverently before the will of God. Children will be blessed to fly forth in the infinite path, seeking their destination. Therefore, parents should not be obstacles to the children in their progressive paths. They must support the children to realize their dreams. That is the answer. The next question, another question under the same third main question. How does George Mikes present the contradictory nature of Japanese in his travelogue? See, the visitor to Japan finds a strange thing in every practice of the Japanese life. So there are 3 points explained by the writer here. One is about the private life of the Japanese, the second one is Boeing, and third one is eating soup in Japan. All these things look peculiar to him. The answer runs as follows. George Mikes, a visitor to Japan, writes in his write-up that Japanese have quaint and odd practices in their social life. First of all, they respect one's privacy in a novel way in that overcrowded land. He gives the example of telephones in public places kept on a table or on a counter. If someone is talking openly about their business matter or private matter, others won't bother to listen to it. A man's telephone receiver is his casual. That is how they respect others' privacy. It is their courtesy. Courtesy is a substitute privacy. Secondly, they bow to everybody they meet. It is their way of greeting. They maintain hierarchy in bowing. They know who should bow to whom, how deeply and how long. To any foreigner, this subtle practice of bowing is too difficult to understand. In a family, wife bows to husband, child bows to its father, younger brothers to elder brother, and sister to all brothers of whatever age. The writer comments in a funny way about the child on the mother's back bowing to others, bowing girls in malls, conductors bowing to passengers in the carriages, and a deer at Nara bowing to visitors. He writes that bowing is a mania in Japan and ridicules it subtly. Lastly, way of eating soup in Japan looks quainter to him. He writes, while eating soup, you must make a fearful noise as a sign of appreciation. If you do not make noise, your hostess will think, what an ill-mannered lout. If you make noise, she will think, no reasonably well brought up European will make such disgusting noises while eating soup. He must be an ill-mannered lout. Her comments make it clear that you cannot please her in either way. Thus, the writer writes about the social life of the Japanese, giving a touch of humor and mockery to it. To him, everything in Japan looks funny and ridiculous. Being a foreigner to Japan, he fails to appreciate the goodness behind each and every practice in Japan. That is the answer to this one. Next one. See, third one. A humble vehicle can be a tool for women's empowerment. Discuss this with reference to where there is a wheel. Women's empowerment, cycling practiced in Pudukkottai district, it helped the women a lot. P. Sainath writes about it. The answer is as follows. P. Sainath, a journalist, writes in his write-up that cycling is a social movement to the women of Pudukkottai district in Tamil Nadu. It is true, though it seems exaggerated. Bicycling is a symbol of independence, freedom and mobility to the rural women of Pudukkottai. It empowers women in many ways. It boosts their income. Some women use cycles to sell their agricultural and other produce within a group of villagers. Cycles save their time wasted in waiting for buses. Cycling gives them more time to focus on selling their produce and make brisk business in a good number of villages. It increases their leisure time, which they could use for some other useful purposes. They rush back to their houses, tend their children, perform many chores like bringing water, provisions, etc. In addition to the economic gains, it has brought them a sense of self-respect. It has reduced their dependence on men. It has given them a kind of social security. This humble vehicle has become a metaphor for freedom. N. Kanamal Arivuli coordinator says that cycling for those women is a Himalayan achievement. It is like flying an aeroplane for them. It has made them independent and self-reliant in many ways. That is how you have to answer the questions for 6 marks. See, try to be very careful while giving an analytical answer under this headline. That is third main question. Next is about the grammar and composition part. 24th question, unseen passage is given under main question 4th. Unseen passage, go through the unseen passage in 5 minutes, 2 or 3 minutes, of course. When the question paper is given in the examination, see, the first thing you have to do is read the passage in the first 15 minutes itself to understand the meaning of the passage, so that while answering the questions on the passage, that will help you a lot. You can answer the questions correctly. Don't lose even a single mark under this question 24. See, the questions I read and answers also I read. The first question is, what does the promissory note in the passage refer to? Answer is Constitution. Mention one of the promises guaranteed in the promissory note for all black and white men of America. One of the answers, nodi hegide, yes, rights of life or liberty or pursuit of life. Question C. What was marked on the bad check returned to the Negroes? Insufficient funds. Question D. You have to write the whole sentence here. Many of our white brothers have come to realize that their destiny is tied up with our destiny. There is underlined. Here the underlined word there refers to white brothers. Question number C. Who cannot walk alone according to the writer? Answer is blacks or whites. Blacks cannot walk alone. Even whites cannot walk alone. They have to walk together. That is the meaning of that. F. What is the dream of the speaker about the nation in which his 4 children will live one day? See, the speaker wants to see this picture. Actually, I read that one. They will not be judged by color of their skin, but by the content of their character. Character is important. Question G. Whom does the author want to sit together at the table of brotherhood? The answer is the sons of farmer slaves and the sons of farmer slaveholders. Answer is that. Next one. See question H, add prefix to the word equality to form its antonym. Antonym is inequality. Equality, inequality. Question I, justice should be made a reality for all the Negroes and white people, all of God's children. The correct answers out of these three is all of God's children. Write the whole sentence and underline the particular part, all of God's children. Last. Write the words of old Negro spiritual recorded by the author. Free at last, thank God Almighty, we are free at last. That is the cry of the people there, of course. See, these are the 10 answers. Answer them suitably, get all the 10 marks here. Next, there will be a poem, 3 or 4 lines poem. 3 questions will be there. You have to answer them. And I read the poem here. Rose a nurse of 90 years, set his child upon her knee. Like summer tempest came her tears. Sweet my child, I live for thee. For your understanding, I have given a note. His refers to soldier killed in the battlefield. Her refers to soldier's wife. The question 1. How old was the nurse? 90 years. Second one. Her tears are compared to summer tempest. Third. Who does the soldier's wife want to live for? She wants to live for her sweet child. Full sentence or for her sweet child. That is the answer. Answer like this. Next is complete the following. 26th question. Complete the following by filling the blanks using the right form of the verb given in brackets. Of course, here passive forms of the verbs are expected. Sometimes present tense verbs will be expected. Sometimes past tense verbs will be expected. In the given paragraph there, somewhere you get a clue whether past tense verbs are required or present tense verbs are required. And here I read the one, the man nudged his companion and he brought forward. Past tense is there. An object that was covered with red cloth. Was covered. Passive form. It was a fearsome little affair. It was kept on a clay pot, in a clay pot was kept, and feathers were stuck into it. And here, while filling the blanks with right form of verb, see the subject there. If the subject is singular, in case of past tense verbs, was is used. Plural subject, were is used, then past participle of the main verb must be given. Therefore, read this one once again. The man nudged his companion and he brought forward an object that was covered with red cloth. It was fearsome little affair. It was kept in a clay pot and feathers were stuck into it. Fearsome, E is left out. Make a correction there, of course. So that is the answer. Underline the verbs what you write there. Don't forget it. Evaluator's attention will go to those words and marks will be given to you. 27th question, it is about a reported speech. See, reported speech, you come across different types of lessons, statements, questions, imperatives, exclamatories. You have listened to our explanation in the classroom itself. You have understood a lot about this, and given conversation here is like this. I read it. Roof, I work for Marcus Highway, pop campaigner. We have plenty of work to do this night. Are you taking this money or not? Roof, will it not be heard outside this room? Pop campaigner, we are afterwards not gossip. So the first sentence is a statement. Roof told pop campaigner, again the words are addressed to somebody else, pop campaigner, that he worked for Marcus Highway. Pronoun is changed to third person, present tense verb is changed to past tense. Worked for Marcus Highway. Next one, pop campaigner said, said is enough, that we have plenty of work to do this night. That means that they had plenty of work. We changes into they, have changes into past tense had. Change plenty of work to do that night. This night changes into that night. And asked Roof, one prashna keltane, are you taking this or not? Asked Roof if he was taking that money or not. Roof asked in turn, pratyagli, again question keltane. Will it not be heard outside this room? So Roof asked in turn if it would not be asked would not be heard outside that room. If is the linker used here, subject must follow it. Will be heard changes into past tense. Will not, will not be heard. Will not be heard changes into past tense. Would not be heard outside this room changes into that room. Yes, pop campaigner. We are afterwards, not gossip. So pop campaigner said that. They were afterwards. Said or replied, both words may be used, one of the two words may be used, that they were afterwards, not gossip. Next question, 28th question. Complete the following dialogue. See, suitable sentences must be written in the blanks. So whatever you write, whatever sentence you write, underline that one. That is very important. 4 blanks will be there. Suppose you fill up that 4 blanks correctly, you get 4 marks. It runs as this. Runs like this. Kiran, good morning. Janardhan. Greeting, return greeting. Very good morning, sir. What can I do for you? Kiran. Is the flat still vacant for rent in your locality? Already it was visited, of course. Janardhan answer. Yes, the flat is still vacant. Kiran, what is the rent for it? Janardhan, the rent is, again blank is there, rent is rupees 30,000 per month. Kiran, thank you for the information. Bye. That is leave taking, that is leave taking, he says like that. Then 29th question. 29th question, it is filling the blank with the right expressions. 3 expressions will be there given in brackets, but there are 2 blanks. You have to fill up the blanks with right expressions. I read it as follows. Marcus Ibe was on the verge of being dismissed from his job as a mission school teacher. Then politics came to his rescue. That is the answer here. Write the whole paragraph. Fill up the blanks with suitable expressions. It must give a correct meaning to the reader. Next one is 30th question. See, filling the blanks with the right kind of expressions. Literature is a dream. Our past is nothing but a sequence of events. There is no difference between dreaming and remembering the past, and is used here. Books are the great memory of all centuries. Their function is, therefore, irreplaceable. If books disappear, surely history would disappear, and surely man would disappear. That is the answer. While filling up the blanks with the suitable linkers, try to be careful. Don't lose marks. Right linkers in right places will fetch you 4 marks. Don't get confused while answering this one. Though the question looks simple, sometimes it will be difficult for you. Try to be careful. 31st question. 31st question, I read a small passage that is there. Don't write the passage in your answer paper, but draw the picture that is given there. Boxes, draw the boxes given there and fill up the boxes with the right words, taking them from the paragraph given there. I read the paragraph. There are 3 components of population growth. They are births, deaths, and immigration. The rates of these components are measured per 1,000 people per year, and they vary from one country to another. The average birth rate of the world is 19.14. Niger has the highest birth rate in the world with 51.76 births, and Japan has the lowest with 7.64. The average death rate of the world is 8.37. Sierra Leone ranks first with 18 deaths. Qatar has the least death rate with just 1.53. This is the simple passage. This is the easiest question, of course, in your question paper. There should not be any question of losing even half a mark. See, write the boxes as I have written here and fill up the blanks with right words. 3 components of the population growth. 1, births. Deaths, migration, births, deaths, migration. See, second one is given, is already given. First one, second one, you write there. Rates are measured per 1,000 per year. Average birth rate of the world, 19.14. Birth rates, the highest is in Niger, lowest is in Japan. See, it vary from, third answer, vary from one country to another. Average death rate of the world, fourth one, 8.37. Death rate, the highest is in Sierra Leone, lowest is in Qatar. That is the answer. It won't be a difficult question. All of you will get full marks to this one, but try to answer this also very carefully. So next question, 32nd question, that is about letter writing. Letter writing, we have explained the format and also the manner of answering the question. Of course, whatever that is given there, write the from address, write X. Instruction will be there in the question paper, of course. Even if they don't give the instruction to write XX for name and YY for address, write the same thing. Don't leave your identity in your answer paper. The purpose is that. Therefore, your name for the time being is XXX and your address is YYY. So write that one in the first place itself. After that, leave a gap and write the date. Write the date as I have given here, 25th March 2021 or 25 March 2021. You may leave that TH. Then give a gap once again. Write the address to whom you are writing the letter. The Secretary, Nehru Pre-University College, Bidar. Then salutation. Leaves a gap there. Sir or dear sir, both are correct. It is better to write sir. Subject. Application for the post of, yes, it is common thing that you write. Lecturer in physics, the post that is advertised, underline that. Reference. Your advertisement in the Hindu dated 25th March 2001. Your advertisement in, that is common, of course, you write the name of the paper, write the date that is given there. Then in the paragraph, in the main body of the letter is very important. See, in response to your advertisement in Hindu dated 25th March 2021, yes, with reference to the above, I would like to apply for the post of lecturer in physics as advertised by you. I have passed MSc Physics in distinction. I have passed B.Ed also in distinction. I have 3 years experience as lecturer in physics at MSPU College, Davangere. I have good communication skills in English and Kannada. I am good at computer knowledge. I hope these qualifications and eligibilities are enough to meet your expectation. Photocopies of my marks cards and certificates are attached to this letter. In addition, I send my curriculum vitae also for your kind consideration. I request you kindly to consider my merits and give me the job. I assure you of my efficiency, honesty, and integrity. Thank you, sir. Yours faithfully, your signature, that is XXX. See, while writing this letter, while asking for job, you should not write about your problems. Your problems will be plenty, but you have to write about your merits. When you write about your merits, the receiver will consider your merits and give you appointment. Job will be given not for your problems, it will be given for your efficiency, for your merits. Curriculum vitae, write this much, that will be enough, of course. Next question is, see, choice will be there. Either you may select the report writing or you may select the speech making. See, first one will be speech making, second one will be report writing. See, the first one is, on the occasion of International Women's Day, you are asked to deliver a speech on the changing role of women in the 21st century, acknowledging their significant contribution to the changing face of the modern era. Your speech should not exceed the limit of 120 to 150 words. Hints. Olden days, women were considered to be queens of tragedy. Improvement in their position today, have all the rights of equality, possess higher positions without any discrimination. Her contribution to literature, education, science, business, administration, modern women's self-confidence, self-respect, self-esteem, we are proud of them. All these points are given. See, while answering this question, at least if you write some 2 or 3 sentences on every point, it will be a beautiful speech. Write that. See, try to answer this question, pooling together all your thoughts about the subject. I read the answer I have written here. First of all, you have to address, you are a speech maker there. You have to address the dignitaries and the audience. So the answer runs like this. Honorable dignitaries on the dais and dear audience, March 8 today, It is one of the most precious days in a year because every year on March 8, we celebrate International Women's Day. It is the day to honor women all over the world. On this happy occasion, I am here to deliver my speech about the role of women, what it should be in the 21st century. In the past, the women were restricted to be within the four walls of the house. They had to depend on the menfolk of the family for each and everything. They were forced to bear the household drudgery. Deliberately, they were denied of education. They were kept in ignorance. They were never equated with men. Gradually, things began to get changed. They were allowed to get education. They began to get equal rights with men. They began to get higher education. The wall of discrimination began to collapse. Women began to enter different walks of life to share equal rights and respect with men. Their contribution in the field of literature, education, science, business, and administration is recognized now. They are honored for their pivotal role in every field. Of late, their role as IAS, IFS, IPS officers has been appreciated. As administrators, they are helping the state and national governments efficiently. As doctors, nurses, and other health workers, their service is praiseworthy. They have entered defense forces of late and are treated equally with men under constitutional provisions. There is not a single area nowadays where there is no representation of women. Many women are working as rulers in the capacity of legislators, ministers, chief ministers, so on and so forth. As years pass by, their participation in every sphere of life is gathering momentum. Their growing confidence, their commanding self-respect and self-esteem are certainly praiseworthy. A woman who was a housewife in the past is now working as a ruler in different areas. They have earned name and fame through their hard work and commitment, but not with the mercy of the menfolk in the society. On this happy occasion, let us pledge to support women to come up in the society and enjoy the fruits of their own achievements. I conclude my speech thanking everybody for giving this opportunity to speak on this occasion. Thank you. So the choice question is, pie chart is given here. Pie chart represents information about percentage and of weightage allotted to different types of question at graduate courses. Based on the information, write a report in about 120 words. See, 120 words, see, it is given there, of course. Write all the points that you have in your mind. Yes, the pie chart given here gives us the information about the percentage of weightage of different types of questions at graduate courses. According to the chart given here, 40% questions should be there expecting descriptive answers. 10% questions should be there to test language functions. Yes, 10% questions should be there to test language functions. 20% about writing skills, 10% about structural grammar, and 20% about comprehension. The pie chart reveals that equal weightage is to be given to language functions and structural grammar. That means 10% questions on each. Secondly, equal weightage is to be given to writing skills and comprehension, that is 20% questions on each. Major weightage is to be given to descriptive answers, that is 40%. Language functions and structural grammar fine-tune the language correctness. Writing skills and comprehension test the grasping ability of the students to present them with correct language. Descriptive answers test the real knowledge in the subject. So that is about the 33rd question. Choice question. Choice will be yours. You select either the speech writing or the charts that are given there, report writing. Then 34th question. It is once again an easy question, of course. Here, if you identify the pronouns properly, you get 4 marks. I read the paragraph here. Don't write the paragraph in the examination. Write what I have written here. Write in this. Answer this question in this way only. India is a land of spirituality. She has produced eminent thinkers who have established the immortality of soul. People of India must always be indebted to the wisdom of their forefathers, which is matchless in the world. First one, she, it refers to India. India is the correct answer. Second one, who, eminent thinkers is the answers. There, people of India. Fourth one, which, wisdom. Then last question, rearrange the jumbled segments to form the meaningful sentence. Segments are kinsmen, soldiers to kill their own are not tried. The correct answer is soldiers are not tried to kill their own kinsmen. That is about this question paper for your second preparatory examination. So I think you will certainly answer the second paper also very seriously. You will get good marks, of course, if your answers are really wonderful. See, two more question papers, so first and last one, fourth one, are already discussed with you, and answers are prepared to those question papers also. They will also be sent to you. Go through the answers to those two question papers, first and fourth one. If you concentrate on these four papers which we have prepared, that is 1, 2, 3 and 4, that would suffice to you to answer well in the main examinations. Especially for 1 mark questions, of course, you read the text again and again so that you will not miss even a single mark in that particular part. As far as reported speech, try to answer some more conversation pieces what have already been given to you in the material itself. Try to answer the passive forms also. Try to answer the expressions. All those things will keep you in good state in order to answer the questions effectively. So, let your preparation to the examination be in the right path. I wish you every success in the coming examination. Thank you very much.